Major leaguers like Mike Flanagan and Gary DiSarcina got their starts at UMass. So did Orioles farmhand Dennis Torres, but his story begins on the other side of the Bay State.
I grew up in Lawrence, Mass, which isn't too far from here. You know, it's a small city, 7 square miles, about 27 miles north of Boston. And I mean, in terms of academics, Lawrence may be the worst city in the state. It doesn't really have a great reputation north of Boston, but I have to say that I am where I am today because of Lawrence, Mass.
Torres might be the only player in minor league baseball who was cut from his high school team. Not once, not twice, but 4 times.
My freshman year, I try out for the team. I got cut and I was devastated. I went home and I cried. I was embarrassed, you know, to speak to my father and say, hey, I didn't make the team. But that was more fuel to my fire. You know, I came back sophomore year, tried out for the team again, busted my butt to get, you know, to where I thought I needed to be to make the team. Didn't work out for the better. Did the same going into junior and senior year. I just didn't get the results I wanted. I got a chance to play summer ball, senior Babe Ruth, American Legion baseball, and it was quite ironic because I got a chance to play with a lot of guys that played at my high school, and it was great to know that I was able to compete at that level. There was no doubt in my mind I should have been able to play my high school team. So I finished my first year at UMass. It went great academically. I had a 3.7 GPA, so that was awesome. After the summer after my freshman year at UMass, that was my last year in Legion baseball, and it was kind of coming to an end in terms of my competitive baseball career.
Torres decided to give baseball one more shot at the impetus of his father.
He said, hey, why don't you try out for the UMass team? And I kind of laughed in his face. I said, you want me to go from not playing high school ball to walk onto a D1 program? He said, hey, what do you have to lose? And he was right. I had nothing to lose. Worst case, I could go back to being a student, and I was totally fine with that.
He tried out as a third baseman, and you know, it took a couple days for us to figure out that he had really good arm strength, a nice loose arm, and just watched him throw the ball across the diamond and said, maybe we can make this guy into a pitcher. I
was behind the plate growing up, and once I got to about 13, 14, I started playing a little third base. I mean, I always had a strong arm. I knew that was my asset, my most valuable asset to the team at least. And I figured if I was gonna walk onto a team, I gotta be a pitcher. And I mean, I had pitched maybe 15 to 20 innings prior my entire life. I threw one pitch, a fastball. Never knew how fast it was. I just knew it was very fast. You know, seeing the reactions and the swings and misses from the hitters and stuff like that. But I figured if I was gonna try out, it would have to be as a pitcher.
Torres had an up-and-down first season on the mound with the Minutemen. He pitched shutout baseball in both of his wins during 2011, but still finished the season with an ERA above 7. As a junior in 2012, he dropped that ERA to 3.34, pitching into the 8th inning in 8 of his 12 starts.
You know, he started to command his zone, command his 3 pitches, more than he had in the past, and just a nice loose arm, started pitching with confidence and gained a lot more success.
Major league teams quickly started taking notice.
I was actually at a teammate's house I played with at UMass, Leaf Sorensen. It was the 3rd day of the draft. You know, I was hoping at some point I would get drafted. I wasn't too sure. I had spoken with, you know, about 16, 17 teams, said they were interested, but you never know with, you know, that being said. And I was at his house, and we were following it online, the draft tracker, and it got to the point where I didn't even want to think about it. Me and him were conversing. They had the draft on a teleconference call, and we're talking. You know, the 28th round with the 852nd pick, the Baltimore Orioles select Dennis Torres, and we both look at each other and we said, oh my God! And you know, we kind of hugged each other and stuff like that. And we went crazy. My phone started blowing up. I got a call from my area scout, Ted Leakes, who had signed me. And at that point, it was a surreal moment in my life. I had worked so hard, and actually, you know, a dream come true.
As unlikely as Torres' transformation was, he wasn't the first player to come to UMass head coach Mike Stone, having never played high school baseball.
Douglas Clark didn't play high school baseball. He played high school tennis and didn't make his Legion ball club either. So, you know, there's 2 examples, and Doug turned out to be a pretty good player too. Dennis's situation is unique, and it's just, you never know. But you see something, you know, that he brought to the table with his arm strength, and we tried to take advantage of that for him and for the team, and it just worked out.
Clark put together a 17-year professional career and briefly made it to the majors a decade ago. Torres is chasing that same dream. Now in his third professional season, Dennis opened 2015 by posting a sub-2 ERA at High A Frederick. He was called up to Double-A at the end of May.
There's a soft broken bat pop shallow left. Martinez shot and he makes the catch on the back pedal. And how about Dennis Torres in his Eastern League debut, getting Bowie out of a big jam.
His first road trip with the Bowie Bay Sox would bring him to Manchester, New Hampshire, 30 miles from his hometown of Lawrence.
I called my dad and I said, hey, I got some bad news when I broke it to him, and he goes, what's wrong? What's wrong? He called me while he was at work, and I told him I got called up to Bowie. He said he almost had a heart attack. He goes, you killed me. You're killing me, kid. And he says, I'm going to be there Tuesday, Thursday, and every game the entire weekend. The fact that I get to come home and play baseball in front of my family at a professional level for the first time in 4 years, it meant a lot to me.
We saw him come in and work out with us one time this winter, and he had a lot of confidence. His arm was nice and loose, his mechanics were fluid, and great downhill action, and really looked like a pretty polished pitcher.
I know he has the stuff to pitch at this level, and he has the ability to pitch at this level and the intellect to pitch here. So, you know, whether he gets drafted or got drafted in the 27th, 28th, 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, he has the stuff that it takes to get guys out at this level.
Hey, do a little run, get a little jog right there by yourself. No, come on, let's go, little jog.
We have guys anywhere from early 20s to the early 30s, and like I said, it's great because you have guys with big league experience. So every day I try to learn a little from him, just working on my craft one day at a time.
For the UMass Sports Network, I'm Cody Cruciel.